Happy Monday, Wenatchee Valley. Happy Monday, North Central Washington. We're back at it for another exciting week of television fun. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. The last time you and I saw each other, it was May. It's not May anymore. It's June. And June came in rather warmly over the weekend, wouldn't you say, with temperatures well above normal. We hit 90 on Saturday, 91 yesterday. Going to cool down. Going to kick up a little breezy. There's a dry cold front. It's going to be paying our way. It started actually late last night, yesterday afternoon. Really got going last night, although it's mild. It's 66 degrees outside of our studios. But we're not going to be in the lower 90s again, at least through the forecast. Those details are coming up. But things are looking good for Friday night, as you well know by now. All of the commencement exercises for the local high schools are pretty much indoors. There are some exceptions. Kashmir will graduate outdoors and a few others as well. For Wenatchee High School, for Friday night at Leib-Off Field at the Apple Bowl, no rain, sunshine, but chilly temperatures. Just thought we'd give you a heads up. And don't forget, we'll be televising the commencement exercises for Eastmont and Wenatchee this Friday. And then a week from Thursday, on the 13th, we'll be handling the West Side High School graduation ceremonies and the commencement exercises for Wenatchee Valley College on June 14th. All of it commercial-free. Looking forward to that. Good show for you today. Alex Haley will be my guest in the second half of the program. We all know Alex. He works at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. He has his own little business promoting local comedy shows, and he's also the commissioner of the Beer Garden at the Apple Blossom Festival. That's why I like Alex so much. But he's here to talk about the big 2019 Apple Awards. The first ever Apple Awards is this Wednesday night at the PAC to honor the very best in high school theater for the previous year. It's the equivalent of the local Tony Awards, I guess. Alex will talk about that in the back half of the hour. There's quite a bit of news to get to on this Monday. Also, we have sports. The Mariners continue to play really bad baseball. They're not good. Sorry, that's just the way it is. The obscure holiday today in history, birthdays, and everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. Smoke's gone. We had that smoke that came down from Alberta. The winds took care of that, but we dried out in a big way over the weekend. If you don't believe me, let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless system. And it looks pretty green, but yeah, I just noticed just over the weekend how much we dried out along the hillsides and the all over the Wenatchee Valley. Really, Mission Ridge is almost completely devoid of snow now. That wasn't the case just a few days ago. They had a significant snow melt up on Mission Ridge. And that usually, the old rule of thumb, the old wives' tale around here is that once the snow is gone from Mission Ridge, the winds die down. That ain't going to be the case. We're going to have some breezy conditions this week. Be a good week to go fly a kite. You can see most of the Wenatchee Valley and the East Wenatchee area looking good. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for starting your day with us. And again, the Columbia River is still up there. It's crowding the banks. It's crowding the banks. But we avoided any flooding this year. That wasn't the case last year. Remember the spit out there at Walla Walla Point Park had to be rebuilt completely. It all but washed away last year at this time. That's not the case this year. So that's good news. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? I don't know. She decides. She says we're going to go visit the Arundel Rock camera, and thus we are. We're Turtle Rock in the distance. And, of course, there's Mission Ridge. You can see Mission Ridge way off there. In the distance. And again, they lost a lot of snow over the weekend. When you have temperatures in the lower 90s on the valley floor, that's going to cause the snow to melt. It looks like the river is just a tad choppy, and that's because we do have some windy conditions. Forecast details are coming up. It's a cold front, but it's a dry cold front, so we're not expecting any precipitation at all in the Wenatchee Valley. No rain, no thunderstorms, anything like that. And we're going to go from well above normal to below normal by the end of this week. Camera 3. Let's say hello to, okay, she's going to throw, is that the monitor camera? That's the monitor camera, looking down over beautiful Monitor. And all of the orchards, the Wenatchee River, flowing right along. Kashmir off in the distance there, of course, and that camera is moving just a little bit. Gives you an idea of what we're dealing with wind-wise. Again, it started to pick up late yesterday afternoon into the evening hours. We had pretty good sustained winds throughout the course of the overnight hours, which is usually not the case, but that's what happens when the cold front comes in. Right now, northwest wind at 25 miles an hour, so it's breezy out there this morning. Camera 4. Let's say hello to, is that the Tumwater Canyon? Hey, Tumwater Canyon. Good morning, Leavenworth. Of course, Leavenworth is not only in our local news, it's in the national news with that child escaping injuries with that cougar attack late on Saturday. Saturday about dusk, that'll be our top story today But a beautiful view of Leavenworth with the high clouds. Doesn't look like that camera's moving around too much. In fact, if you look at the trees in front of it, they don't seem to be moving much at all. But everybody is going to be dealing with wind off and on really throughout the course of the week. In fact, at 5 minutes after the hour, almost 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service, let's take a look at that weather forecast. And there you go. A dry cold front began to come in on Monday, and then a second front will come in on Wednesday. That's really the big cool down. So we're gonna have cooler temperatures. Going to be breezy. It's going to be dry. So two cold fronts. One began to come in yesterday. It's going to hang around. It's going to cool us down. As you can see, 83 our high today with a high of 90 on Saturday and 91 on Sunday. We're going to cool down. That 91 yesterday, by the way, 16 degrees above normal. It was very warm for this time of the year on Monday. But again, not nearly as warm, but a high of 83. We'll see pretty sustained winds right around 15 miles an hour for most of the day today. It's going to be gusty at times, 20, 25 miles an hour. Now, those gusts are going to pick up in intensity tonight. We can see wind gusts 27, 28 miles an hour as that cold front continues to enter the area. Now, Tuesday, we catch a break. Lots of sunshine, high of 84. And the reason we're going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow is that there's very little wind as we're between those two cold fronts. Just a nice light breeze out of the west, about 3 to 7 miles an hour on Tuesday. Then Tuesday night into Wednesday, that's that second cold front that we talked about. 58 for the overnight low, but the winds will be picking up on Tuesday night. Wednesday, partly sunny, 78 degrees. Again, windy at times, winds out of the west about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And that cold front's going to usher in some cool air. And look at those highs on Thursday. That high of 72 below normal. Friday, only 70, again, below normal. So get ready for the cooling trend, which is going to continue really throughout the course of the week with highs just about 83 or 84 today and tomorrow. Then we gradually cool down. Sunrise this morning was at 5:07. Sunset tonight at 8:51. That means 15 hours and 44 minutes of daylight. We're gaining anywhere between 90 seconds to 2 minutes of daylight a day as we get closer and closer to the summer solstice coming up on June 21st. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Nothing really dramatic out there. We're just going to cool down and have some winds pick up, but the temperatures will go back down to normal after a very warm weekend. Before we take a break and get ready to give you your Monday morning news, a special thank you to our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring this program. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality care to everybody in North Central Washington. Confluence Health, thanks for sponsoring this show. It is 8 minutes after the hour. 1 minute break. When we come back, your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurance Services of North Central Washington, where we like to teach our customers how to shop and compare from all the Medicare options. Now, a lot of folks will come in and tell me, Jim, I'm so confused about all these choices. In fact, there's 21 reasons you can join a Medicare plan. But we want to focus on the specific plan that's right for you. So if that's what you need, give us a call at Senior Insurance, 888-2600, or visit one of our 5 locations.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's the third day of June 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz. We have sunshine, a few high clouds, 66 degrees, sunny and breezy today. Highs in the mid-80s, and then we cool down to below normal temperatures by the end of the week. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday. A child escaped injuries in a weekend cougar attack at a popular Leavenworth park. The attack happened around dusk on Saturday at Enchantment Park. It was first reported on Twitter, as you see there, by the Washington State Patrol. After the attack, the big cat ran off and was spotted roaming through the residential neighborhoods that surround the park. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife officers searched the area for several hours while advising residents to stay indoors. State troopers tweeted around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday that the cougar had been located and was euthanized. The circumstances surrounding the attack not immediately available. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife is the lead investigating agency here. Well, an 8-year-old boy suffered a broken back after the vehicle he was riding in went over an embankment and rolled near Quincy. This happened early on Sunday. The driver of the F-150 pickup is suspected of being drunk. This is according to the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Burnaby DeLone Garza, 36, was driving the pickup east on Road 7 Northwest at about 12:20 in the morning when he failed to stop at a stop sign. The vehicle went through the intersection, over an embankment, and slammed into the bottom of an irrigation canal and then rolled on its top. This is according to the Sheriff's Office. 3 children were in the back seat, at least one of whom was not restrained. The 8-year-old boy was taken to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where he underwent surgery. The 2 other children, a female passenger and DeLone Garza, were treated at the scene. The Sheriff's Office said charges are pending against DeLone Garza. Well, a Moses Lake man who has made a habit of trying to elude police tried again on Friday night, but his luck once again ran out. The latest incident actually started early Friday when 38-year-old Robert Gwynn, riding a motorcycle, was chased into Moses Lake by Grant County Sheriff's deputies, but deputies ended the pursuit out of concern for the safety of residents. However, deputies were later able to locate Gwynn in the Cascade Valley area of Moses Lake. He again led them on a chase. This time, Gwynn crashed his motorcycle, tried to flee on foot in the area of Stanley Drive Northeast and Lee Drive Northeast before being caught. Gwynn had a warrant out for his arrest related to a previous pursuit, and in September, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail after violating a protective order and leading the police on yet another high-speed chase. Well, an 81-year-old boater missing on the Columbia River near Chief Joseph Dam left behind letters indicating he would not be returning. This is according to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. 81-year-old Charles Baker of Coulee City disappeared last Monday, and his boat was found Wednesday drifting about 5 miles above the dam. Anyone who saw Baker launching his boat or on the water is asked to contact the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Well, Chelan and Douglas County Port Commissioners are slated to vote next week on an agreement to blend operations under one management umbrella. Chelan County Port Executive Director Jim Kuntz says the 2 agencies recently met in a joint session where they fielded public comments on the proposed functional consolidation.
Citizens feel that gaining efficiencies with the 2 ports functionally consolidating makes sense. Seems to be concurrence that we're really a regional economy. If we have economic success in Douglas County or Chelan County, the whole region benefits from that. So we are really pleased with the general comments. One theme from a small mayor that attended, the small town mayor who attended, just reminded the ports that we're county-wide, and as we look at economic development programs and deliver services, that the rural communities need to continue to get resources so they can do economic development as well.
Kuntz said the 2 boards of commissioners will take formal action on a proposed interlocal agreement on June 11th. If it all goes according to plan, the 2 ports will operate as one starting January 1st. Now, under the plan, the 2 ports would remain intact but would operate under one budget and one executive director to oversee a shared staff. It's estimated that the consolidation would result in an annual savings of about $500,000. Well, a famous rock outcropping above Wenatchee, you've always known it as Saddle Rock. It soon will be officially called Saddle Rock. Yeah, the Washington State Committee on Geographic Names approved changing the name of the popular hiking area from its current Squaw Saddle to Saddle Gap and bestowing the name Saddle Rock on the rock formation itself. The Saddle Rock name has been in common use since the early 1900s. Native Americans, of course, consider the word squaw derogatory, and it's being removed from dozens of officially named places. The name change remains open for more public comment before it becomes official. Wenatchee historian William Lehman submitted the proposed name change to the state last September, and that's what's making headlines at 14 minutes after the hour here on this Monday. I am Dan Kuntz. Don't forget the news will come your way at 5 o'clock tonight with Grant Olson. Grant in the anchor chair also handles the weather forecast unlike last week, when Grant really didn't have a lot of forecasting to do. It's another story this week as things get a little more active. So Grant, in the anchor chair, also handling weather duties, and Eric will be handling sports, the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. You can also watch it on demand on our website. Again, right around 5 o'clock, we'll get it up there and running for you. Just go to ncwlife.com. It'll be the first thing you see on our homepage. In fact, you can watch our archived newscasts if you want. If there's a story that you missed from last week or 2 weeks ago or a month ago, you can check it out just by going to ncwlife.com. In fact, all of our locally produced shows are archived right there. Pretty easy to find. ncwlife.com. And at the bottom of your page, all the different ways for you to get a hold of us. News at ncwlife.com is our email address, news@ncwlife.com. You can also drop us a line via our Facebook page. Just go to the message part of your Facebook page and drop us a line. Be sure to like us while you're there. We also have a Twitter handle. We have a telephone number. We have an address. We have a building. We have a studio. We have people. We have a good staff. Get a hold of us. News@ncwlife.com. We're going to take a break at 16 minutes after the hour. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. By the way, it's my all-time favorite Mike Magnotti opinion coming up here towards the bottom of the hour. And then the second half, it's my conversation with Alex Haley from the Numerica Performing Arts Center, the inaugural 2019 Apple Awards honoring youth theater in North Central Washington is Wednesday night. We'll talk about that and more cool things with the Pack with Alex coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. He's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. It's 18 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Earlier this season, if you remember, it was the Mariners who were putting up crooked numbers and leading the American League West 13-2. Everybody's super happy with the M's. Well, these days they're giving up crooked numbers and they're last still in the American League West. Such was the case again yesterday at T-Mobile Park. The Angels scored 7 in the second inning and 5 in the fifth inning, and they went on to win 13-3, and it wasn't even that close. Albert Pujols did much of the damage himself. He drove in 5 runs, including a 3-run home run in the second. David Fletcher and Mike Trout also delivered 3 hits apiece as the Halos had 15 hits for the game. Seattle starter Marco Gonzalez had another rough outing. He surrounded 10 runs, 9 hits, 4 2/3. He walked 3 and just had a couple of strikeouts. LA scored 7 runs in the second inning and another 5 runs in the fifth. Now that's the 6th time in the Mariners' last 12 losses that Seattle has surrendered big innings to an opposing team. Needless to say, manager Scott Service not real happy.
The big inning, they're in the second inning. Some defensive plays, some things that we didn't really make good decisions on ended up turning into a big inning again. And we've seen that. We've played this game a few times this year. About had enough of it, quite frankly. So we will switch up things a little bit tomorrow. We're going to run an opener out there, and Wade LeBlanc will pitch after that. We're just where we're at, trying to create a situation. We're getting a little bit more out of our guys in the right spots, and we'll give it a shot.
Now, the Mariners have not announced who's going to start tonight. We don't know yet. They have their game against Houston, big game coming up tonight. The Mariners finished May 7-21, and so far, of course, they're 0-2 for the month of June. Service says it's frustrating to lose, but even more troublesome is to see his club play bad baseball.
We don't throw strikes, and you don't play defense. You don't make plays. I mean, that's it's hard to watch. And you'll have ups and downs with the bat, but you got to make the plays. You got to throw strikes, and when that doesn't happen, it's bad baseball, is what it is. And I know we're young in some spots, we're inexperienced in some other spots, but you got to continue to do the right things, and it's about throwing it over the plate and catching the ball.
After losing 3 of 4 to the Angels, the Mariners will try and snap that losing trend. They got one of the best teams in baseball. First place, Houston's in town tonight. First pitch at 7:10. To the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. How did the rest of the American League West do yesterday? Well, it looks something like that. Adrian Sampson won his 4th straight. He struck out 11. Texas got past Kansas City 5-1. Houston scored 2 runs in the top of the 12th to beat Oakland 6-4. The win concluded a 3-game weekend series sweep of the A's by the Astros. Houston, Minnesota lead the American League. They got 40 wins on the season. The team with the most wins in baseball, the Dodgers, with 41 wins so far. Well, the University of Washington softball team survived 2 elimination games on Saturday, but they lost a heartbreaker to UCLA yesterday at the College Women's World Series. They beat Minnesota Saturday morning 5-3. Then they topped Oklahoma State 1-0 to advance on Sunday. Yesterday's game was scoreless through 7, then 8, then 9, into the 10th inning. It took almost 4 hours to play this game. In the 10th inning, Rachel Garcia unloaded a walk-off 3-run home run to put the Bruins in the championship game. Number 2 seed UCLA will face number 1 Oklahoma, the first of best-of-3 series tonight down in Oklahoma. The Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks snapped a 4-game losing streak, 42-34 victory over Tri-Cities on Sunday. The 2 teams will meet again this Saturday at the Town Toyota Center at 7 o'clock. Let's talk baseball for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Their 20th season of summer collegiate baseball starts tonight. Wenatchee will host the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team tonight at 6:35. First pitch, Paul Thomas Senior Field. Now, according to Joel Norman, the voice of the Apple Sox, 24 of the 37 signed players are in town for tonight's opener. You can hear Joel and the Apple Sox games on Sunny FM around North Central Washington. After tonight's game, the Sox will begin West Coast League play. Victoria comes to town for the first of 3 games. That starts tomorrow night. Our very own Eric Grandstrom will throw out the ceremonial first pitch tomorrow night. He'll also join Joel in the booth to call a few innings on radio. By the way, the first Apple Sox game televised right here on this very TV station will be a couple of Saturdays from now when they host the Walla Walla Sweets. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. It's 23 minutes after the hour. It's time for the Obscure Holiday today. This couldn't happen any better on a Monday. Look at that photo. What's that? That's an empty office. Yes, today, June 3rd, is Leave the Office Early Day today. You know, we like our jobs. Nothing's more relaxing and more fun than actually not being at work. So pack up your things, get out of the office a little earlier today because it is Leave the Office Early today. I don't know why. It's usually celebrated on June 2nd, unless June 2nd is on a weekend. And they move it to whatever the first Monday is after June 2nd, which is, by the way, today. Of course, you avoid bad traffic. You can go to a movie, go to a local bar, hang around with your friends. By the way, according to some sources, the average office worker spends about half an hour of his or her day each day trying to find something, looking for a work-related document or something like that. That's right. According to most experts, you spend about a half an hour a day at work trying to find something. Today is National Leave Work just a little bit early day today. I won't. Don't think so anyway. Today in history, June 3rd, 1940, 79 years ago today, the Battle of Dunkirk ended. It was a resounding German victory. Allies in full retreat, but they did make it across, of course, the English Channel over the course of 8 days. Day 1, only 7,669 Allied soldiers made it across the English Channel from Dunkirk to Great Britain. But by the end of the 8th day, because the German army had stopped for a little bit of a breather, 338,226 Allied soldiers were able to make it across the English Channel. It was a hastily assembled fleet of about 800 boats. Basically, if it could float, they were going to press you into service. The Battle of Dunkirk ended. Germany victorious, resoundingly so, but they got about 338,000 Allied soldiers out of there before it happened, and it was a significant turning point in World War II. June 3rd, 1989, 30 years ago. I was riveted on my television throughout the course of this. It was going on, of course, for a couple of weeks. A lot of communist countries were having a lot of problems. Communism was on the ropes. People started to protest in Tiananmen Square, and finally the government of China said, that ain't gonna, what happened to East Germany and Poland and Romania, it ain't gonna happen here. They sent in thousands and thousands of troops, and they forced the protesters out of Tiananmen Square after they occupied Tiananmen Square for 7 weeks. How many people were killed? Only the Chinese authorities know, and they're not saying. People think probably in the thousands. A few soldiers, too, were killed as well. But anyway, it's the beginning of the end of the Tiananmen Square protests in 1989. For a lot of people, they thought this could be the end of communism in China. It wasn't. It still isn't. 25 minutes after the hour, let's do some birthdays. Couple of them. Chuck Barris was born in this state in 1929, passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 87. Of course, he was best known for hosting The Gong Show, but he also created the dating game and the newlywed game. He was part of the group of brainy people who got together and created the dating game and the newlywed game. And of course, he hosted The Gong Show, one of my favorite shows of the 1970s. That tells you a lot about me. In 1984, he published his autobiography called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, and he claimed he worked for the CIA in the 60s and 70s as a paid assassin. George Clooney actually made a movie about it. Unfortunately, the CIA said it never happened. You know, Chuck Barris said he assassinated 33 people at the behest of the CIA. He said it's ridiculous. It never happened. Finally, in 1984, Chuck Barris said, yeah, I didn't. I applied for work at the CIA, and they turned me down. So Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, first of all, isn't a very good movie. And second of all, it's completely false. Chuck Barris, born in the state in 1929, and Rafael Nadal, the Spanish tennis player, is 33 years old today. Nobody has won more French Open titles than he. Of course, the French Open is going on as we speak at Roland Garros. He has 11 French Open titles, by far more than any other male. He's also won 3 U.S. Open titles, a couple of Wimbledons, and an Australian Open title. He's currently the second-ranked tennis player in the world. Rafael Nadal is 33 years old today. And that wraps up segment number 2 of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're going to take a break. When we come back, how does Mike Magnotti feel about pineapple on pizza? If you don't know, you're going to find out in my conversation with Alex Haley from the Numerica PAC about the 2019 Apple Awards. All that coming up between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. Remember the good old days? Sunday supper at Grandma's and the best recipes being passed down through generations? Well, come on out to Blueberry Hills and find amazing food with huge portions at family-friendly prices. From Benedict's to burgers to fresh fruit pies, there is something for everyone. Don't miss Blueberry Hills, where you pick, you sip, you eat, and you visit wildaboutberries.com.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
When you visit Harmony Meadows for tennis or their activity center, you need to drop by the Love All Cafe. Drink in a locally roasted Blue Star espresso or enjoy one of their all-natural smoothies. Show your guests the breathtaking mountains and surrounding orchards while enjoying a delightful and healthy lunch. Love All Cafe features varied noshes as well as microbrews and an excellent selection of wines. The Love All Cafe, located at Harmony Meadows in the Chelan Valley, just outside Manson.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, pizza, it's a great food. Everybody, kids, old people, even liberals love pizza. I mean, the succulent dough, rich, spicy spaghetti gravy covered with mozzarella cheese. What could be better? But I got news for you. You don't put fruit on pizza. If you put pineapple on your pizza, call it a fruit cup a la mode. Call it pineapple pie. Call it any doggone friggin' thing you want, but don't call it pizza. I mean, you don't put tomato soup and American cheese on a piece of white bread and call it a taco, do you? So don't be an idiot. If it has pineapple on it, it ain't pizza. Okay, that's settled. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that is not my opinion. That is a fact.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you. We drop it off. Then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
There was a time when you had to travel a great distance to enjoy premium wine and food pairings. Now you can experience it right here in North Central Washington. Surround yourself with the beauty and romance of the Lake Chelan Valley and enjoy some of the finest winery restaurants in the world. Get your taste of adventure at Siren Song Vineyard Estate and Winery, Wapato Point Cellars Winemakers Grill, or Sorrento's at Chelan Cellars. All three have their own style and unique charm. Now you're less than an hour from excellence.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. The inaugural Apple Awards, the first ever of what we hope to be a long-standing new tradition here in the Wenatchee Valley to honor youth theater in the Wenatchee Valley, comes up on, well, Alex, when is it? I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Coming up on June 5th.
June 5th.
June 5th at Numerica PAC.
Alex Haley is the program manager at the Numerica PAC. We don't really know what does that mean? What does the program manager at the PAC do?
Well, some part of it is programs like this, putting these things together, but it's I help book the season and pick the shows and kind of sponsor relations, our outreach programs, which is our student Every Kid at the PAC, which allows students and educators to come in and see some of our shows. So, yeah, a little bit.
You're
of this,
not bored.
of that. What's that?
You're not bored.
I'm not bored.
You're not bored
and this,
at all.
yeah,
This is a great idea. This is a fantastic idea. They are basically honoring the outstanding youth theater programs, of which we have a bounty of them here in North Central Washington. Whose idea was this?
This is an idea that I think has been kind of kicking around. I don't think it was the first one to think of it, but we had always wanted to do something like this. We have such a great community that supports theater, and we have all this talent that's coming up through the high school. So we thought that the Numerica PAC would be a good place to kind of host all those different schools and honor the talent that we have.
And these kids need to be honored with the hard work and the dedication that goes into putting on musicals and plays and shows and all that stuff. So did you have a committee to get together to pick the nominees? How did that work? Because there's a lot of talent. You got to whittle them down.
And that's always been a challenge. They used to do reviews of all the shows, but it's hard to get to all of them. So we put together a group of volunteer evaluators. Some of them are actors, directors, people that have been involved in theater, but community members in the different the different school districts that we're evaluating. So they went out, saw the shows, they evaluated each one of them. We took an average and tabulated everything, and that's where the nominees came from. So it's a very kind of objective criteria of how the nominees are chosen, and then they reconvene and look at the nominees and decide the winner of each category.
So is there like a formal voting process, or basically people talk it out in a room until they all agree that this person wins this award?
Yeah, so they kind of talked it out, and then they vote separately. So so everyone can kind of get their voice heard, and they can make their case for one way or the other. But ultimately, the person can decide individually, and they don't have to feel compelled to. But it's a great process. It's really hard because there's so many great people, and we only have one award in each category. So, but it should be fun, and really it's about honoring the nominees. It's not there's going to be someone that goes home with the award, but ultimately we want to celebrate we have 23 students nominated.
Yeah, a lot of students. So you got a hold of them each one at a time and said, "We're doing the Apple Awards, and you've been nominated." And what kind of reaction were you getting?
Well, we didn't really. We kind of just announced the nominees and sent out a press release and tried to let people know. And then all the directors that we work with are coordinating with all the students.
And hopefully they'll all be there.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Yeah,
right?
hopefully the nominees will be there. They're all going to do kind of a review of the shows that they've been in. It's a good way to kind of look back and to hopefully build awareness for some of these different.
I guess since it is the end of the school year, it's kind of like the end of that season, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, they start going in August, and they have the show picked, and then they rehearsals, and there's the shows.
We have 7 shows that we evaluated this year. Eastmont, Wenatchee, Cascade, and Cashmere are all participating this first year. And we have kind of categories for plays, categories for musicals, and then a different kind of performer, lead performer in a musical, lead performer in a play, and best supporting performer.
Outstanding supporting performer in a musical, outstanding supporting performer in a play, outstanding ensemble cast. That sounds like it might be the big award.
Yeah, those
because it takes a family of people to put on a good show.
Yeah, and so we wanted to honor all the different sides of kind of that goes into theater. We haven't included the technical categories, but that's something that we plan to add in the future. So this first year is basically kind of letting people know that this is going to be a thing going forward. It's going to be a really fun show to come and see.
It's going to be. Yeah, go ahead. But it's going to be a show.
So it's going to be. It's not just an award ceremony. It's entertainment. It's kind of based around the Tonys or the different award ceremonies like that. We have Music Theater Wenatchee performing. We have Stage Kids performing. We have local actors that are going to be the presenters. So there's going to be different comedy routines and then each one of the schools that was nominated for Outstanding Overall Musical is going to do a piece from their show. So it's very entertaining. It's going to be very fun, and then a great way to honor all these different students. And
again, it's about the kids, and this may actually develop into something bigger for maybe some of the adult shows that they're putting on.
We talked about doing some community theater, and in general, we want this to represent all the the talent that we have. So bringing in some of the Music Theater Wenatchee, bringing in some of the community theater programs. But it's really this, it starts in the schools, and we have such a great program for that in this area in all the schools. And so this is kind of hopefully the culmination of all their hard work.
How do you account for this? I've asked this before. I've had Cynthia Brown, I've had the Atwoods on, I've had Kathy Smithson on, I've had every performing group of one kind or another, and there's about a dozen of them that I can think of off the top of my head that put on theater, put on shows, put on musicals, put on plays. How do you account for all this talent in little old Wenatchee?
I don't know. It's always, ever since I've been here, it's been a community that supports the arts. I think larger than maybe other places that have a similar population. I think for our size community, we have so much talent that comes out of here, and we have so many people that support it and community members that want to see these different shows.
And it all starts with the kids, which is what the Apple Awards is all about. I mean, I went to Newsies, and I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away at everything, at the costumes, at the sets, at the acting, at the dancing, at the singing. And Newsies, of course, is had a younger cast for a music theater production, which is usually all adults, but there were some kids in Newsies, and they held their own.
Oh, they have to dance. They have to. Yeah, it's a huge show, and so many talented people from the region. So there's kids that were coming over from Ellensburg. So that's what we want to do is show this region in North Central Washington as what it is, a supporter of the performing arts.
And maybe it plants the seeds for some of those younger kids that you talked about to take the next step up and start getting into more musicals and plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean we just really want to kind of fan the flame that we already have there. And this first year, the kids, they haven't been aware of the Apple Awards, but if they were, and maybe that was something that motivated them, that's great. So,
and it's great. And of course, we've talked about this before too. It takes guts. It takes chutzpah to be a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid and go up on stage with makeup and spotlights, and you can't see the audience and you're performing. It takes guts, but it opens up a whole new world, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we have a scholarship as well this year in partnership with the New America Credit Union and their scholarship program. We're doing a $1,000 scholarship to a student that has been positively impacted by their involvement in theater. So we know that theater can be transformative, and so we want to honor that as well. So that's exciting. That's our first year of that as well, and hopefully that grows into a tradition as well.
What else is going on at while I have you here? What else is going on at the PAC as we slide into summer?
Well, we have we have a brand new theater program coming up called Twilight Theater. It's going to be Shakespeare in the Park, essentially. So we're going to do out in our lower courtyard. We're going to build a stage, and we're going to have cocktail tables, and we're partnering with Full Circle Theater Company, another local, great local theater company, to produce Twilight Theater in July. So we have some outdoor theater, and then we have Hot August Nights, of course, coming back for the 7th year. And we have the show Hands on a Hard Body, so that opens in August, and that's the same thing, or on the same thing it's been in the past, where all the audience is on the stage. Very cool, high energy. Jamie Donegan and Don Fox.
Yeah, I talked to Jamie about that. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of a parody. It's an old radio, television kind of promotion where everybody has to physically touch this truck, and the last person to keep physical contact with the truck wins it. But there's a lot of really interesting things going on.
Yeah, so it's based off this cult documentary in the 90s about these endurance competition. We screened it at the PAC. Actually, it's all these different crazy characters, and they all have these different motivation, and they think this truck is going to change their lives. And then they took that and made it into a Broadway musical, and so we're going to have an actual truck on the stage that rotates around. It's going to be very cool.
And all of these people are tossed into the salad, and so there's a lot of great interaction between the actors.
And close quarters, and they're So the actual people stayed up for like 3 days, and it's just crazy that they did this. So it brings out a lot of interesting themes. And
it's nice to have a theater that doesn't just close its doors in July and August, isn't it?
Yeah, we used to be. I mean, it used to be dark basically July and August, and that now we have something every single month of the year that we're doing. So we're excited about using the theater in new ways and giving people a different way to see a show at the PAC, which will be fun. The New America PAC.
The New American Performing Arts Center, which is one of the crown jewels, and it's perfectly located right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee. Let's wrap up where we began. The 2019, the inaugural Apple Awards. Fill in the blanks, Alex Haley.
We have the first ever Apple Awards for North Central Washington. We have 4 different school districts participating: Eastmont, Wenatchee, Cashmere, and Cascade. It's going to be June 5th at the New American Performing Arts Center, 7 p.m. Find out who the winners are in each of the categories, and we're honoring our scholarship recipient as well. We have a lot of fun things prepared.
How much are tickets?
Tickets are $10 for adults and $7 for students.
That's cheap.
We want to get as many people there to honor these students. So a lot of hard work went into all these different shows, and this hopefully will be a good.
I hope it's a tradition
for them. I hope it is too.
And I can see another deal like this with the entire Wenatchee theater community in a big
bring in all the community theater that we have would be really fun.
You got sponsors, I'm sure.
Yes, Davis Arneal Law Firm is our presenting sponsor for the inaugural year, so we really want to thank them because it wasn't, it was basically just a theory, and they came on and supported it and allowed us to do it the right way. So we really want to thank them.
And I recognize over half of the names on this list, and I do not envy the people who had to whittle it down and decide a winner.
Yes,
on
it was
on
very
these
hard.
categories. It's
Luckily
crazy.
that part's out of my hands, and so
Yeah.
I just take the recommendation. But there's a very talented group of people there.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. The 2019 inaugural Apple. Why the name Apple Awards? I probably should ask you that.
Well, we're the
call it
Apple,
something, right?
capital of the world. We like
Okay.
alliteration.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those. It was just thrown out as that, and it stuck. So yeah, we're the Apple Awards.
Well, the Academy Awards, of course, are known as the Oscars. So this will get a nickname.
Yeah.
My guess is it'll just be
Maybe
the Alexes.
the Kuntzes, the Kuntz Awards.
Nice
yeah.
shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That's
It's
nice.
I have a good collection, and I figured it would look good on the green screen. Back
Alex
there.
Haley, the program manager at the Numerica Performing Arts Center, also the commissioner of the Beer Garden.
That's right.
I saw you a lot over there.
Yeah,
weekend.
a lot.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
the documentary, a lot of fuss about it. You were in that way too much.
Way too much. Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
It was-
Again, that's out of my hands.
Okay.
I don't
More royalty,
control it.
less Alex. That's all I can. That was actually the only criticism I heard of the whole thing.
Yeah, is me.
It's
That's
too
good.
much Haley.
Mhm.
Alex Haley, everybody give him a big hand. One more word, buddy. Razors. They sell them everywhere. Walgreens has them, Rite Aid, razor blades.
That's right.
Look into that. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We hope you'll be right back.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
NCW Life Channel invites you to join our live coverage of commencement exercises for Eastmont and Wenatchee High Schools Friday, June 7th at 6 o'clock. Our live coverage is brought to you by Auto Mocha, with 6 locations in our valley to serve you. And by Blackrock Asphalt Services, your local asphalt seal coating company. Celebrate the class of 2019 Friday, June 7th starting at 6 on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life Channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Welcome to Boswell's Home Furnishings. Come in and explore their expansive 2-story showroom at your leisure. You'll find comfort and inspiration for every room in your home. Boswell's has been filling customer furniture needs for decades, from contemporary to the classics, for living room, dining room, and bedroom sets. Purchase in-store or create your own unique style. With Boswell's complimentary design service, your vision is their passion. Where would you like to start?
Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Got about 10 minutes left on this program before you can head on out the door and start your Monday activities. But before we do that, we do have some new details on that cougar attack that happened on Saturday. If you just joined us, a 4-year-old boy escaping serious injuries at this cougar attack at a popular Leavenworth Park. The attack happened at about 9 o'clock Saturday night at the Enchantment Park and was first reported on Twitter by the Washington State Patrol. Authorities say the cat grabbed the little boy by the head before it was chased off by a family dog. The boy was treated for minor injuries at Cascade Medical Center before being released to his parents. A lengthy search was mounted by sheriff's deputies and officers with the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. The cougar was spotted by several neighboring property owners roaming the area around the park. State troopers tweeted at about 1:30 in the morning on Sunday that the cougar had been located and was subsequently euthanized. Wildlife officers say the body has been sent to a lab for further examination, but they indicated it appears to be a healthy young male cougar. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife will be the lead investigating agency here. And also another item of note, an 8-year-old boy suffered a broken back after a vehicle he was riding in went over an embankment and rolled. This happened near Quincy early on Sunday morning. The driver of the F-150 pickup suspected of being drunk. This is according to the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Burnaby DeLone Garza, 36 years old, was driving the pickup east on Road 7 Northwest at about 12:20 in the morning when he failed to stop at a stop sign. The vehicle then went through the intersection, over an embankment, and slammed into the bottom of an irrigation canal and rolled on its top. This is according to the Sheriff's Office. 3 children were in the back seat, at least one of whom was not restrained. The 8-year-old boy was taken to Harborview Medical Center where he underwent surgery. The 2 other children, a female passenger and DeLone Garza, were treated at the scene. The Sheriff's Office said that charges are pending against DeLone Garza. Those are our 2 lead stories this morning. Of course, we will have more news tonight with Grant Olson at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10. As you might imagine, it was a busy weekend for our news crew around here. Friendly reminder, it is time to commence the exercising. It is a big, big weekend and a big, big Friday for the class of 2019 all over North Central Washington. And just as we have done previous years, we are very proud to bring you about 4.5 hours of uninterrupted commencement exercises coverage on Friday night. Friday night at 6 o'clock, our cameras will be live at the Town Toyota Center for the Eastmont High School's commencement exercises for the class of 2019. That goes from 6 o'clock to about 8 o'clock, and as soon as that is over, we will immediately transition live to Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl for the 115th commencement exercises at Wenatchee High School for the class of 2019. This entire coverage from 6 to about 10:30 will be completely commercial-free. Thank you to our sponsors. And then don't forget, on Thursday the 13th, of June, we'll be carrying the Westside High School commencement exercises from the Wenatchee Convention Center. And then on Friday, the 14th, we wrap up the spring commencement exercises with live coverage of the Wenatchee Valley College commencement exercises, again, at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, one more look at your weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Monday edition on the NCW Life Channel.
The YWCA Thrift Store, our mission is to make positive change in the community by giving women and families the tools they need to regain economic stability through work experience and education. Featuring generously donated new and gently used furniture, housewares, clothing, and much more, the YWCA Thrift Store has something for the whole family. Shop, volunteer, or donate with us today.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
With spring finally here, summer must be just around the corner. So, moms and dads, what have you planned for the kids this summer? Registration is now open to sign up online using our new RAC app or by calling the club. Our team of professionals have multi-sport camps, swim and tennis lessons, swim team, and much more packed into our summer schedule. I'm Emma, RAC Membership Coordinator. Give me a call today. Our special summer memberships can be purchased starting May 1st. See more details at wrac.org or call 662-3544. The RAC, where we play every day.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Before we cut you loose, let's take another look at your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. It was very warm. It was 90 on Saturday. We hit 91 yesterday. Our normal high is supposed to be right around 74, 75 degrees, so we were 16 degrees above normal on Sunday. But things were changing. In fact, it already began overnight last night with a dry cold front, which came in yesterday. No real dramatic weather. The only thing you're going to notice today is it's going to be a little on the breezy side. We'll have a pretty consistent west wind right around 15 miles an hour. Right now, the wind is out of the northwest at 23 miles an hour, so it is breezy as this dry cold front has knocked the high-pressure ridge out of alignment. It's out of here, and it's going to cool us down to a more temperate 83 degrees. Again, the story today is going to be the wind. Clear skies tonight. Now, this cold front, there's actually two of them. That dry cold front that I talked about first, it's going to start leaving the area tonight, so we'll have clear skies, but it is going to be breezy. Wind out of the west this evening, 6 to 10 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 28 miles an hour tonight. Now, Tuesday, we catch a break. Lots of sunshine, just a tad warmer because it's not going to be very windy on Tuesday. In fact, it's not going to be windy at all, as that first cold front is gone at this point tomorrow. Wind will be out of the west about 3 to 7 miles an hour. Now, Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, this is a second cold front, which is going to bring considerably cooler temperatures and, yeah, breezy winds and dry conditions. It starts Tuesday night with an overnight low about 58. The wind will be picking up. Not much early on, but then eventually as we get into early Wednesday, the winds will be up there about 15, 20 miles an hour, gusts above 20 miles an hour at times Tuesday night into Wednesday. So Wednesday, as you can see, big cool down there, a mixture of sun and clouds expected on Wednesday and a high of only 78. And then we calm down. There's very little wind, but as a secondary cold front comes through, that's going to bring us the breezy winds. It's going to usher in some cold air, so the winds will be long gone by Wednesday night, but the cold air isn't going to go anywhere. So Thursday, we're only going to top off at about 72, so we're going to go from well above normal over the weekend to below normal by the time we get to Thursday. Friday, lots of sunshine, but cool for this time of year. High of only 70, no wind, no rain in the forecast for Friday or Friday night. So for the local schools that are holding commencement exercises outside on Friday night, you're not going to get rained on. It's not going to be very windy, but once that sun goes down Friday night, it will get chilly. Just a heads up, you'll want to bundle up for outdoor commencement exercises on Friday evening. Then not a bad weekend if this forecast holds true. Saturday, sunshine is 75, sunshine highs in the lower 80s by Sunday. Again, a bit breezy today, a little bit of a cool down. We catch a break Tuesday, lots of sunshine. And then Wednesday, that secondary cold front comes down and cools us down. So things are a little more dramatic, as it were, this week as it was from last week. What have I got coming up this week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley? My guest tomorrow will be Chuck Egner. He's back again for the third year in a row. I think Chuck and his crew, his party posse, so to speak, they're the ones who put on the annual Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival, which is coming up the 14th, 15th, and 16th of June at the Chelan County Fairgrounds and Expo Center. It's a huge event, one of the biggest bluegrass festivals in this country is right here in our own backyard. It's a great time. Chuck Egner will be here to talk about that. Again, that's tomorrow, the Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival, which is next weekend, not this weekend. The Red Apple Flyers have one of their biggest events, in fact, the biggest event they've ever had up at their campus up near Pangbourne Memorial Airport. The Red Apple Flyers, they have a big event coming up. They'll be dropping by to see me later on this week as well. Also, Kylie Boggs. What does Kylie do? She's a pyrotechnic person. She is the one who's in charge of setting off the fireworks for the Let's Have a Blast party at Walla Walla Point Park. They do it every Independence Day. Kylie Boggs will be dropping by and see me later on this week as well. We have a jam-packed week of television fun. Don't forget the news with Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Everybody have a great Monday, provided the show isn't canceled. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.